So what would you say to the people that look at your career and say, "Oh, that's the best career ever"? You say, "Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. You're stupid for anything else."
Well, I do think I have the best job on the planet. However, I think the image of the job is different than the actual job. I think what people perceive as being the job is different from what it actually is. Then out on the forefront, it's a lot of, mountaineering and a lot of time with people and a beautiful environment. That's definitely a part of the job that's awesome. But, running a business and, all the back end stuff of, packing for trips and, repairing gear and, packing food and stuff, that's part of the job too, but nobody sees that part of it. And so that part, isn't quite as glamorous, So I think having an accurate view of what the job really is, I think is important, and still is a great job as far as I'm concerned, but maybe some people wouldn't like it, and a lot of people wouldn't like it just because they don't really want to deal working with people in that way too. You're dealing with people that are out of their comfort zone, they're in a different environment, and they're looking to you for experience and advice, and you have to have enough energy to not only take care of yourself, but have enough to give to your clients as well. You have the opportunity to help people do things that they probably wouldn't be able to do if I wasn't there to help them do it. And that's a pretty neat experience, to be able to empower people to do that kind of a thing.
You started off on Rainier. You were guiding for another company, I assume, or what was the work there that you were doing?
Yeah, I was guiding for a company called Rainier Mountaineering Incorporated, and that was their base of operations there.
And how long did you do that for?
I was there between 1991 and 2006. So and I started my company, Sierra Mountaineering International. I started that in 1995, and so there was a number of years of overlap there, and I was spending my summers on Mount Rainier and then spending the rest of the year in the Sierra and backing off my time year after year. And those last few years I was only maybe working on Rainier 2 or 3 weeks.
What most people don't appreciate about what you do is that, yes, you're a mountain guide, but you're also running this business in order to be able to do that. Do you think it's just your unique combination that you can do both of those that enabled you to do that, or is there anything that inspired you to?
Yeah, and I think you kind of hit an important point. People own their own businesses for 2 reasons. There's the one person who just wants to be a business owner, and they may find somebody who's selling a retail store, or let's say, for example, a paint store, and they buy it and they keep the old owner around for a certain amount of time while they learn the trade, and then they're a business owner. They might not know much about painting at all, but then there's other people who just get passionate about something, and they figure out a way to make a living doing it. And that was kind of the way that I got involved in it. And I think learning the business aspect of that was hard. And there was a lot of trial and error that went on with it, and that's just part of that. And I think whether I had been a business major or not, I think I would have made some mistakes. But it's all in how you learn from those mistakes and try not to repeat them and such too. And so and then having such a passion for the job, I think, helps too. It gives you a lot of stick-to-itiveness. It was just me doing it by myself, and I didn't have any investment capital or anything. I just started running trips and living paycheck to paycheck for quite a while until things started picking up a little bit of steam. So I was living pretty frugally at first.
How long did it take you before you got to that point where you're like, I might need to hire somebody else?
I started it in December of 1995, and it was about 1999 I started hiring a couple people.
Did you know already who you were going to hire at that point, or was?
Yeah, I had a couple people who lived in the area that were interested in doing some work guiding. Some had previous guiding experience, some of them didn't. but they had qualities I was looking for, and they were interested in guiding. So I didn't care if they'd had any past experience or not, because I knew I could teach them what they needed to know.
What are those qualities? What are you looking for in a...
Well, it's a combination of, I need a solid skill set in the mountains, and I also need people to be very interested in working with other people, because the job isn't really about mountaineering for yourself. It's about showing somebody else a good time in the mountains. So you know, they have to understand, you know, it's not just getting paid to go climbing. It's you know, giving other people a good experience. And so being selfless versus selfish, and being able to work well with people, I think is very, very important.
Is that hard to find in the outdoor community, or is it pretty easy to find those people with that skill set?
I think it's fairly difficult to find them, actually. And I have a great staff right now, and I think it's actually right now probably the best staff we've ever had. But it took time to get to that point, and finding people who understood that concept was, it is, it's hard.